Okay, so this is our video about PR and kind of just getting your band out there, I guess we could say it. And, there's a bunch of things that will start to happen to you at the beginning stages anyway. And obviously the internet is an incredible thing to have. Like when I was a kid, we didn't have the internet, We ate rocks and stones all day. Um, but the internet's awesome, It has kind of changed the nature of things, but it's also given you a bunch of really cool free tools. And I'll just kind of go point for point and we'll look at them, okay? So one of the cool things that you'll be able to play at is a battle of the bands scenarios. You know what I mean? I mean, they're always great. Now, they're going to be kind of your one of your first things. Because, you'll be at school and there'll be a battle of bands at the school, or one of your local rec centers or something like that, And usually you'll need a demo to get into those. But, if you've got a demo and a picture of you all looking, standing around looking at the ground, then you'll at least have a shot at getting into one of those. So that's a great thing to do. And obviously band contests also, it's kind of the same deal. Now, part of the whole nature of the internet these days is that a lot of these things look really good, but they're actually a pay-for-play. And people are going to be making money just hosting you. And one of those things is as we go on, there'll be companies that will let you play on their bill, but you have to pay to get in by selling a certain amount of tickets. And the tickets will be, $8 or $10, and you have to sell 30 to be able to play for these things. And then they'll pay you, $20. So they're actually making money off hosting bands. And, one of these nights there'll be like 20 different bands, and you'll get 20 minutes to half an hour. Now, it's a good way to get on stage if there's no other way, but you're not really going to be making money that way. But if there's no other way to get on stage, I mean, what have you got to lose? You'll usually be able to scare up 30 friends, at least for a couple of times, to get on stage and have some fun. And it's also a good way to meet people that are also in your community, that are actually bands too. So it's a good way to kind of network and stuff. But you just kind of have to be aware that a lot of these things are pay for play. And it's also the case on the internet, a lot of these services will say, well, you can host your music on my site for a certain amount of money, or you can, we'll set up you with an MP3 player, but on our site it costs a certain amount. And a lot of people are actually kind of making money off you not even necessarily connecting. They're just making money off you trying to. And you'll discover that everyone's actually in the same boat. There's 3 million of you, and it doesn't necessarily really connect. You know what I mean? But, I guess you just have to... sometimes people don't really know, It's a shot in the dark. So there's all those kind of pay-for-play sites, and if you've got the money, often it's not that much money, and if you're just kind of out there and you have the time to kind of get into all these sites, then why not, And just leading on to the next idea is social networking, obviously. MySpace, YouTube, all these, what's the other one, Facebook? Yeah, you can get your Facebook page going and you can put up your band videos. MySpace, same thing. You can put up your videos, you can put up your songs. You can actually sell your songs digitally on MySpace for free. You have to pay 50 cents on the dollar for a downloaded song, but you don't actually pay up front, which is a really good thing, because we were just talking about ways to maximize your ability to get out there without having to spend a lot of money first, because more than likely you won't have any money if you're a musician. Being a musician is the strangest feel. Like a lot of artists, like some musicians and artists are extremely famous and extremely rich, but it looks like a logarithmic scale. There's a gazillion billion of them all just scraping along, and like 5 of them have made $1 million. It's kind of a strange kind of profession like that. Actors the same way. Most actors are waiting tables somewhere, Anyway, I don't want to digress. So we'll probably have some affiliates that help you out with these social networking sites, who just help you to get into them if you're not skilled, but more than likely you will be. If you're watching this video on the internet, you probably know a hell of a lot more about it than I do. And another cool way to get yourself out there is these, there'll be festivals all over the country that host specific ideas. Like, so you can search within your genre of music to find festivals that put on that genre of music, and you can submit your press kit to those kinds of things if you want to, and that's another really cool way. Often, it'll be for a fee, like $30 will get you in to, be looked at. Unfortunately, that's kind of the way it is, because there's so many bands and so little people that really want to actually go and see most of those bands. Then this is kind of the way it is until you actually become, successful. You're going to be kind of knocking on doors like this. So that leads us to our next step, which is a press kit. And we'll have affiliates that'll help you set up a press kit, and it's usually pretty simple. It's going to be like a demo of songs, a poster, and a bio of everyone in the song, in the band, what they do, what makes them sexy. So you'll kind of need to put together a band bio. But like I said, to be honest, it's not necessarily really my skill area. I'm not a band manager. I'm more kind of into the sound and mechanics. I'm a sound engineer by trade. So I think I'll just mostly rely on our affiliates that we'll pick out some good ones for you on the side, and hopefully that'll kind of help you. But, it's like most of these videos, I'm really just kind of helping you to think about what it is, how you're going to approach it, and then give you a way to approach it a little more successfully. So just getting yourself out there again. You've got your Battle of the Bands, you've got your band contests, you've got your local bars, obviously, but with the speed of the internet these days, don't limit yourself. It used to be that you could only play at the local bars or you were screwed, But now, you can all jump in your car and drive 2 hours to a bill that hosts 5 bands that has the same genre of you, and you're much more likely to connect, you know what I mean? Because some of the things that I would run into as a young guy, I was kind of an arty rock guy, wrote all these really weird art songs, and to play them at the local bar, it's a little tough. So this is why, in a certain sense, you're actually better off, because you can kind of tailor what it is that you do and find the market that wants to be involved in that kind of music. And, if you've got to drive 3 hours, it's worth it to not get beers pelted at you. Like in the Blues Brothers. Did you ever see that bit? They had big steel mesh, and everyone threw beers at them if they didn't like the song. Yeah, you probably don't want to do that, So, as far as getting yourself out there, just try and think of it as, how do I connect with the audience that wants to hear me? And how can I do that the most effectively, you know what I mean? And then you can start thinking about, well, if we want a manager, what does he do? What's his market? Has he done bands like us before? This is kind of the thinking involved. And, what festivals do we submit to? Well, this is a festival that plays our kind of music. Or social networkings. Oh, yeah, well, I'll network with bands like us, Battle of the Bands, usually have pretty diverse kind of guys, so it doesn't really matter the niche so much. But really, when it comes down to it, the world today is filled, if you want to use jargon, of these micro niches, you know what I mean? And if you can find, even if your audience is small, if you can find that audience, you can really connect, and that's the fun about the internet, if you're doing aggro, indie, emo, pop, there's, there might be 50 guys in a room somewhere that'd love to hear you, and you wouldn't have had that possibility 10 or 15 years ago. You would have just had, your local meathead bar crowd who just wanted to hear Sweet Home Alabama played again, you know. And that can be pretty, if you want to play that, that's fine. But, you know, it can be pretty saddening if you've got your really awesome arty song about the girl you love or something, and you're not connecting because those people haven't heard your music and they don't care. So the fun thing about having your MySpace page and your player in there is that you can actually connect with an audience. They can listen to your songs without having a record deal or without being played on the radio. And now your audience actually already knows your songs, so when they come to see you, they've got that connection, you know, and you don't have to penetrate the, oh my God, this is another bunch of people who have never heard our songs before. Okay, so I think that's good.